Hey, good evening. Welcome back to Pixel Village, and I'm Radha Krishnan. Well, I don't know how I managed today to come here. I had a small, emergency, and I had to attend to that in the morning, and thought it was I'll be done with that very fast and very soon, and we'll be back here. But I got stuck, and like they say, I made somehow I just it's luck. It's thank God I'm able to start this presentation today bang on time. Well, one person is a Malayali and the other person is a Bengali, and we have to start late. We when Bengalis and Malayalis come together, well, I don't think it's a very rare opportunity where probably anything would have started on time. Well, anyway, Pixel Village is probably trying to create a trend by starting things on time. Anyway, you all are welcome back again for yet another session at Pixel Village. And as you know, today's session is on street photography, shooting on the streets. Let's see who all are here. I see Sudeep Datta, Negi Studios, Ankit Vidwans, Swarnadeep Chatterjee, I have no. Okay, he doesn't like me. Ab kaha English bak raha hai. Thank you very much. The other word which you've written in between is unparliamentary, so I cannot, utter. If you are not enjoying it, you can actually, decide not to watch it. Hi, Nigel. How are you, Nigel? How are you doing? And we have Vivek Nayanar. Hello, Mr. Radha. Thank you. Hello. And Srimanta Reddy, Mehul. I see a lot of new faces today. A lot of new faces. And of course, our regular faces too. JMJ is here, and he came, I think, almost 15 minutes back. Perfect. I am really excited about today's attendance. Fantastic. Thank you very much. So whatever that I wanted to do, I need to eat my words, I think. I wanted to say that probably the most popular field of photography is glamour, then probably wedding. Wedding and glamour is like, it goes very, very, it's a hand in hand. I mean, it's both are very glamorous. Then you have the landscape and the wildlife and the nightscape and all that. And then whoever is left, I thought want to get into street photography, because street photography, unlike any other genre of photography, first thing, it is not very well. It's not really well paying unless you really make it to the top. Second, you need a lot of hard work. I mean, hard work and this real donkey work. You need to do a lot of that to get some images that you have in your head. You need a lot of research. More than all that, more than anything, a lot of dedication. But today's attendance have proved me wrong. I think there are a lot of people who are here today to learn about or to hear about photography, and we have an amazing person who's going to be narrating. Well, he's an original guy. Okay, I mean, you will realize that in the presentation, you will realize that how original he is, and the kind of images that you've seen. More often than not, when you see a street photography image or a street shot, you will say, I've seen this style somewhere. You can always relate, because street photography there are lots of grades, and people by and large follow a certain style of street photography. There is the Raghurai school of photography. Well, my understanding of street photography, I'm also going to learn today, so my understanding is also limited, but I understand that there are lots of different schools of street photography and they follow. But this gentleman, he doesn't conform to any of these schools. He has something on his own, and he's been successfully doing that for a, probably more than 1.5 decades. And he's been working for big agencies abroad, and also doing a lot of personal work. Well, without spending any more time on explaining who he is and what he is, I'd like to bring him onto the screen. But before that, I'd like to quickly tell you that Pixel Village is an online photography education platform. We started as a YouTube channel. Currently, we are subscribed over 735,000 subscribers now for Pixel Village, and thank you for subscribing to our channel, and which makes us really responsible, and we would like to remain that way too. And we started this online photography education platform where we have put together some of the finest mentors for you who will teach you photography, from whom you can learn photography. So I'd like to give you a glimpse of Pixel Village to you before I introduce today's mentor.
How I go and shoot a wedding?
You want to create something in the world, you have to come out of the condition.
I'm a lifestyle photographer based out of New Delhi.
पिक्सल विलेज का जो अप्रोच है वो जरा अलग है.
That's right. That's what is. What we gave you was a glimpse of pixelvillage.com. So if you would like to learn photography online, we have put together a series of classes for you. Okay. We also have an online app, and I will add the link to download the app for you. So there will be a Pixel Village app which you can download from the Google Play Store. The iOS version is under. We are making it. We will hopefully we will release it very soon. Okay, so today's mentor. Well, are you ready to receive him? Good evening. I am not a professional photographer. You inspired me to take good images. Revati Ganpati. Hey, thank you, Revati. Really happy to hear that. I mean, that's a steroid. I mean, that's the kind of comments which give us the energy to continue doing what we are doing, especially in these times. Well, we will also take questions. Of course, we will take questions. And I'd like to now, without wasting any more time, I'd like to bring to you Arindam Mukherjee. Dada, welcome to Pixel Village.
Thank you, Radhaji, for introducing me to your clients and the viewers. It's a great honor being here.
Well, it's actually an honor to host you in Pixel Village.
Thank
you very much. Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So
thank you.
I was actually in the introduction, I was basically trying to say that, street photography is something which not everyone's cup of tea, and people don't easily get attracted to it. The ones which people get attracted to it very easily are the glamour photography and the wedding photography, and then there's wildlife photography and all that. And then there is only a few, few section of that photographers actually go pursue street photography. Am I right? Well, looking at the turnout today, I don't think I'm right, but what is your opinion?
As far as I was concerned, and other people are concerned who are studying photography, photography is a very, very expensive medium. So when somebody starts off from middle class, will opt for street photography rather than wildlife or fashion, which is more gadgets, a space. But in street photography, you need a camera and the street itself. So it's easier for a middle class or poor guy to start off with a street photography. That's why me came into the scene because
Ah,
every
okay.
expensive. I wanted to be a wildlife photographer, but I didn't have the money to buy those kind of lenses. Those are 5 lakh, 6 lakhs lenses. I could not buy those lenses that time. So
Yeah, okay.
it was easier for me to get a camera, get out in the street, shoot whatever I like, and nobody's stopping me. And it helped me rather to introduce myself to the world and getting them know from a very first hand view. Means first hand relationship is very important for a photographer. It is
Uh,
all about relationship in street photography because you are just shooting strangers. These are the real people, the rustic world. You're shooting that.
yeah. Uh, okay. So something which is you started because of your limitations soon became your passion. Is that what happened?
No, it first of all, I didn't have option to get those lenses. Then, but I always liked visuals, so I went into shooting things on the streets. And suddenly, I came across certain photographers because through books and magazines, and I started liking human interest images, which we now call it street photography. Those we used to call human interest photography and candid
Okay.
photography. So,
Okay. Uh, okay.
so
But
that's how.
now to a photographer, if you mention candid, the majority of the janta will, or when I say janta, I mean the village that I belongs to a photographer. So my janta is photographers. So majority of photographers say candid photography, then immediately they relate that to wedding photography. But probably candidness started on the street.
Yeah, Candid started with in about the 1940s with Henry Cartier-Bresson, who used to say things about decisive moment. Decisive moment is
Okay.
candid photography, impromptu photography.
Decides. Okay.
Decisive moment, it's impromptu
Okay.
photography. So
Okay.
it's not letting people know while you were shooting them. So that was the starting of photography. Before that, Eugene Adget is a person who used to shoot photographs of parks, streets, and inanimate objects. And
Okay.
that is the maybe the starting of street photography. And 1940s, it started with Henry Cartier-Bresson, and then Eugene Richards, Eugene Smith, and Robert Frank, who took it forward. So
Okay.
it's all about more realistic, uh, very mundane kind of life you are shooting, and nothing. It's nothing extraordinary. It's just ordinary things you are bringing into your camera and you're shooting them. And in those days, we didn't have a digital camera, so we used to shoot and wait for the film to develop, and then you can see the negatives, and then we bring out the contact sheet. Then we used to see how many pictures because it was very rare that a good picture used to come out. And
Okay.
sometimes you get those pictures.
Okay.
Anyway,
Uh,
that's how it
okay.
started.
Okay. So, we will definitely talk about the analog days and the, digital,
Yeah.
the new digital era. But before that, I would like you to tell, our viewers about yourself, your journey, and also share some images, and also probably, if you can, tell us a story behind those images and what is your beliefs. And I understand, I mean, because I've interacted you in many occasions, I know you're someone with a very, very strong belief. When you set out to do something, you have a very clear idea, clear vision. But I would like you to explain to them that process. And we don't have too much time, of course. So in the limited time, if you can explain to them, that'll be wonderful. So,
First of all,
over. So what I'll do is I will get out of the screen. I'll keep you in full screen so that the interaction is much better. And I'll come in when you are done. And whenever you are
You,
ready to share the screen, let me know and I'll start sharing the screen.
Radhaji, it's better you question me one by one. I'll answer them. Let's start with how I started photography, means how it
Oh,
came to me.
you want it that way? Absolutely. Let's do
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
because
sure.
question answer session is better for me rather than me
All
talking.
right. Wonderful. So I'm here. I'm ready.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
So, my father had a this Pentax K1000 camera. It's a total camera,
Okay.
and had one normal lens and a wide angle lens of 28. My father was a geologist who used to shoot images in his fields, shooting stones and structures. And when he used to come back from field, he used to hand me over the camera to shoot whatever I would like. During that time,
Oh,
from very young age, from about the age of 4, I started shooting images in that way.
okay. Okay.
And from about 10, or when I was 10, I started knowing what is aperture, shutter speed, and uh, aperture, shutter speed, and what is that called? Focus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Those those,
ISO.
those three those three
AS,
yeah,
ASA in those days.
ISO, yeah, ISO. So
They also used to call it DIN, DIN, which of course that
DIN,
standard went.
ISO,
Yeah,
DIN, ISO, and ASA, they are all the same thing.
yeah,
So
yeah. It's a
I
different
know them. I
standards.
know how to use them. There is a galvanized meter inside the camera, which I have to keep it in
Yeah,
middle. Didn't know how to
yeah.
use, but I have to use that needle. So that way I started that time. And later, after my father died, I got the camera in my hand and I started photographing things, mainly roads, mainly from top of my house. I used to shoot the streets from very far away. It was very uh, keen to go out, but I was not allowed to go out. Then suddenly, I came across somebody from Statesman, the newspaper, the oldest English newspaper in India.
Okay.
He to PAB, Photography Association of Bengal. From there, it all started. Then I started working as a freelance photographer, working with advertising agencies, and later on, it bring me after I did the workshop with Saidul Alam, my mentor.
Okay.
I, I started working with the Times of India, and that's back in 1999, 2000.
2000. Yeah, just around this time, I also started my professional photography
So,
career.
so it's not 15 years, 1.5 decade. It's 2.5 decade almost, 24 years. And
Yeah, sorry about that. I stand corrected. Uh, all right. In fact, once you, and after a while, the years doesn't matter, right? I mean, you're not going to stop anyway.
but
You're going to
I,
keep
but
continuing.
but I think years matter. 15,
Yes.
yes,
What I meant
it's a
to
lot.
say is that if somebody like, for example, I didn't know, so I said 1.5. Fine, it doesn't matter. I mean, there is so much of time. You know.
10 years back, I wouldn't have shoot. I would not shoot a certain thing the way I'm
Ah,
shooting today because
okay.
10 years lesser experience is a lot. Maybe after 10 years, I will be shooting the same thing in the same pattern or same way. I don't see things in that way because my
Okay.
experience is changing, my maturity is growing up. is-
Uh-huh.
I'm seeing more detail into it. I'm
Okay.
getting more day by day. I'm not
Okay.
moving fast. I'm getting slower. I rather roam around, rather wander
Okay.
around, rather than whenever a photographer is out in the street, they try to go from one distance to another. Means I have to reach there. But
Uh-huh.
now we don't do that. The photograph can happen in front of your house. So once
Correct.
you go out in the street, they start wandering.
Okay. So, do you go to the street with an idea in your head or a story in your head and start looking for an image, or you go see something, shoot, and create a story after that?
So nowadays I don't go out to street that much as
Uh-huh.
I used to go out before. But now I'm doing more stories, so I have a perfect projected plan what I'm doing and how I should do, and I have my own connections and through which I get connected to those stories and those kind of stuff. But previously, I used to go out and I used to sit somewhere in the street. I don't move around. I never used to move around. I would love to sit somewhere, and I would love to watch people about in their daily chore. I
Okay.
won't.
And
I won't be moving too much.
okay.
Sitting.
So
Yeah.
so is it like you kind of seen something there, you're anticipating something, and you're waiting for that to happen, and you will
Yeah. Yeah.
you'll wait there
Uh,
till that happens, and then you move on?
what my primary when my first project was on Kolkata, the Kolkata my city, which I'll show you 10 images of it. So
Sure.
as I always told you before that city has its own character. So if you know the character and what you want to show in a picture, then you know what you want to shoot. So when you see certain things in certain place, you stop there and you wait there, get that particular moment which you want to capture to say something. Because whenever I am as a creative artist, I'm saying something always. When a
Mm.
painter is saying something, when a artist is painting, or when a poet is writing a poem, he's also saying something. As a photographer, he's also saying something.
Yeah,
So
right.
so if I it was very clear what I want to say.
Yeah.
So I need to wait there. Patience is the
Okay.
best thing to win the
I,
game.
I, I totally agree. I mean, in almost everything, patience is something which is very important, and which is in great
But
short
but in
supply
real
these days.
life, but in real life, I'm very impatient guy.
I know you.
Mhm.
All right. There is a small clarity that I would require there. So when you go and sit in a place, do you already have a story in your head, or you have an interesting visual in your head? Like, for example, everything is perfect and I want just a man to walk in, probably a middle-aged lady in a black dress to cross, and I will wait till I get that picture.
You cannot
Or
anticipate life. You cannot anticipate life, so you cannot pre-visualize things. So what you
Mhm.
can do, you just have certain thing, have a particular character. Like you want to shoot the tram of Kolkata. How will you
Okay.
shoot? Will you shoot it from outside or will you shoot it from inside? That's very important. Will you take a longer shot or a mid shot or a mid-long shot? That
Sure.
you decide first. Then you,
Okay.
if I think that I would like to shoot it from inside, then I go inside the tram. Or
Okay.
if I to shoot for with a longer shot, then I'll sit back in Maidan and wait for the tram to come. But you
Okay.
cannot anticipate. You cannot anticipate whether the yellow tram is coming or blue tram is coming.
Not really. But
So
my
yeah, tell
sorry,
me.
my yeah. So my question is, again, coming back to the same thing. Uh do you actually see a story happening there, or you're seeing an interesting frame happening there? The
In
frame can be interesting, but there is probably not a story. It just depicts a city life, like a busy city life. But are you also trying to? There is a story also there. Like,
when
a picture talks about 1,000 words. So that's how people talk. That's what people talk about a photograph, right?
yeah, now it can be said that picture is you can shoot a silent picture also. Why so much chaos? It can be silent. It's not said by me. It's said by Raghurai. He always says so nowadays.
Okay. So
So
so so people, that's a big learning in the right at the beginning itself. Photograph doesn't have to really say anything. It can be silent too.
it can be
But then
silent. When
what?
silence actually silence says lots of things. When
Okay.
there it says lots of things. So you have
Okay.
to
Okay.
read in between lines.
So you speak through the silence.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
and
Wonderful.
and
Is
and
it how difficult is it to see an image like that? As a
it's
picture which is like,
it comes from your inside. Sometimes you
yeah. Yeah.
feel that silent in the chaos of the city.
Hmm.
In chaotic city, you find that silence sometimes. So and sometimes it's very chaotic, and your mood is also very chaotic. It's called mood building. you have to create a certain kind of mood through your pictures. So you need to have those kind of images for your particular story. But when I used to go out, when
Mhm.
I didn't know about storytelling photography or photo story or photo essay, what I
Mhm.
used to see in the images, whether they're graphical,
Mhm.
whether light correct, those are
Mhm.
the most important things. Later on, the emotion came in,
Mhm.
which took 2 3 years, because I was a self-taught photographer.
Okay. Yeah,
Later on,
I mean, you mentioned that.
yeah, after 5 6 years, I got mentors. Before that, there was no mentor, there was no internet. I learned it by seeing images of different photos.
Mm.
At the beginning, which I
Nababodo.
say, huh?
Nababodo saying silence is the best emotion. People are
Yes,
agreeing to,
yeah.
wonderful.
This silence,
Na-
silence is metaphoric. Actually, silence
okay.
is metaphoric.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Uh, Now the question is, do you want to straight away go into the presentation, or and there are lots of questions which has come up. Probably we'll take the question at the end. Is that better?
As you say, I don't have problem.
I think I don't want people to miss your presentation. So I would request our viewers to hold on. Don't shoot out all your questions now itself. Please hold on to the thought, write it down, and when Dada asks you to, post the questions at that time, you can. So shall we go into your presentation now?
Yeah, please.
Perfect. So once you hit play, I'll start sharing the screen. All right. Uh,
Just hold on.
yeah, sure. Please play. And
Yeah, yeah,
all right. So I am sharing the screen, sir. You
yeah,
are, I can hear you. I will be able to
yeah,
hear you. Whenever you want me, give me a shout and I'll come back onto the screen. Okay.
yeah.
And you are on now. You can start.
Yeah. This is a image of maybe from 1997, 98, 97, 98 winter. And it's it's Maidan in Calcutta, the greener space in center of Calcutta. It's a huge area, and lots of people come in the morning for morning walkers. There are morning walkers. There are basketball players. There are footballers. There are cricketers. Even there are priests who come and chant. So this is one kind that kind of situation where people are sitting around, sitting together and chanting Ramayana with one cycle on the right hand side, and that's it. And the situation is very foggy, and those 3 4 trees are making the backdrop, and some people in the backdrop doing certain things, certain they're trying to exercise or something. So that's the scene I got over there, and that's it. And it was back in 1998, probably. Next one, please. Next one.
You have to do the forwarding. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
I'll do the forwarding. Okay, okay, I'll do
Yeah.
that. So it was another foggy morning, and I was just trying to cross the road in Esplanade. Esplanade is long back; it's 97, 98, and this traffic police was trying to control the traffic, and suddenly he was not looking at me, but I needed that particular look, because on the right hand side there is another hand of a politician. So I wanted those hands, and he was his hands were on in the air, but he was not looking at me, because that look is very important. Without the facial expression, you cannot get a nice picture. So I just say hello. I just say hi to him, and he just looked at me, and clicked the picture with that old Pentax 1000 camera. Because you can understand focus. I had to manual focus it. I had to give the perfect exposure and balance things, and those experiments. I have to do the framing and all those kind of stuff in one go. And this is only one picture. There's no other picture after that. And the moment came and it went, but that's it. Next, this is in 2000. It's in Rabindra Saroni in Kolkata. It's one of the busiest road in Calcutta with the tram lines, and is a still you will find tram on this road. And this is a nice place. On the left hand side of this, what you are seeing in the window on the left hand side is a big mosque over there, and this is a Muslim area, and you have uh, old people come here to read. They are reading Urdu newspaper. If you see the first man on the right hand side, he's reading an Urdu newspaper. So it's just the morning scene of Kolkata, how it looks like, and the vendor who is not getting any money for this readers from the free readers. That's it. So this is just a scene of Kolkata in the morning. This is Kumatuli, where the potters stay and they make these idols of mud and straw and those kind of stuff, and they do it. But this images, these idols are generally taken to the pandals. Pandals means those altars, and they have been worshipped by Hindu people. And these are the place where the potters work. And Kumar means the potters, and the Kumatuli means the place where the Kumar stays. So if you go there before in during August, September, you can see this kind of imageries over there. This is the first published picture of mine in the Times of India. It was published 5 columns in the front page. Though that time it was color, I made it black and white because it gave me some sense, some kind of, because black and white is always good for street photography, because where the subject matters actually takes over the color. It is very important to be subject matters to be very strong. So I needed to make it black and white, but basically it was in color, and it was published in color in the front page of the Times of India in 2099. I don't remember now, and 5 columns, and that was my first published picture in any published book, any first picture in any publication. This is another picture during that time, 98, 99. Here, the most interesting part are the 3 baskets, which are in circular shape, and this is only geometry which attracted me, and chaos going on behind. And but still, those 3 baskets are empty baskets, give it a feel of geometry in the whole chaos. And Neil Burgess, the director of Magnum, told me it's a work like Dr. Eugene Smith. Uh, it was a big compliment from a Magnum director. This is a more recent picture of mine of 2002-3, where I'm shooting a barber working. These are all the daily shows of people staying in Kolkata and what they do. But still, you can see the lines over here, the scratches. These are all films. These are not digital images. These are all films, and because there is a very the relationship between the film and the photographer is great, because you have to get involved into it. The involvement was much more than a digital photo you take and it's been done. But then we used to shoot in films, we have a chemistry going on in between us, means me and the filmmaker, the film, then the developer, then the printer. It's a work of togetherness. So that was very important, interesting for me. But for certain reasons, films are not available right now. And if someday I get Trax 400, I would rather shoot in Trax 400 rather than digital, because it's digital texture is different from the film texture, and the grain, it's totally different. This is again a picture from the film days, 98, 99. These are the mounted police who were coming back from the Maidan ground, and there is no foreground to this picture, because the lady behind in that what should I say, poster is more interesting, and that gives a contrast of the masculine and the feminine part. And so I use that background and exclude the foreground. It was shot on a telephoto lens, not a zoom telephoto lens, but it's a telephoto lens, 135 millimeter. So you cannot, if you have to go closer, you have to run forward, or if you have to go back, then you have to go back. Otherwise, this is the frame you get, and that's a it's restricted, means you cannot do like whatever you do in Zoom. It's a just a panning image in front of New Market, a rickshaw puller of Kolkata. It's the only place in India where you can find hand pulled rickshaws, and so you can see that I always try to bring out the characteristic of that particular city. Uh, that's it. And last one, Calcutta is known for meeting and Michil and what we call it, the slogans. And so here is a picture of 1996, as I remember it, of a SUCI, means extreme leftist party. Mics are on the cycle, and people are sitting on the main road of Dharmatala. So it's a historical image. You don't see this kind of images these days. Radhaji, can you please come back?
Yeah, of course. You're back.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to ask me anything about black and white questions, then I'll answer them now.
All right. So people, he is opened for questions now, and if you want to ask questions, you can, and I'll bring those questions to the screen, and he will answer you. So lots of people were stunned by the image quality. People are saying they are soulful. They are saying they are interesting compositions, and they're saying there's a lot of drama in it, and there are lots of wows here. So yeah, so there are lots of people who will now start asking questions. It says full of life. So I will try and pull some feedbacks onto the screen. It says Sudipendra Pal saying full of life. You will have to pardon me if I pronounce certain Bengali names wrong. Well, there is a small delay in my computer for, so it's Subrajyoti Behera is saying nice composition. So lots of people are asking, are very happy about the 1 second. Absolutely, stories exuding through the images. So yeah, even those single images were telling a story. So Vivek Nayanar is saying those single images were, exuding with stories. Then you had specific. So there is a question from Saurabh Nimja. Let me try and get that onto the screen. There is a small delay from my side. I don't know why it is. But there is a delay. Give me a second, okay? I'm going to try and get those images onto the screen. Please hold on. Please stay with me. I am. The slow. Okay, there it is. Okay. how black and white photo bring more impact of the subject than color?
Actually, color is basically distracting. Uh, there is no parity of color. Means in streets, if you go out, you find yellow after blue, and then it's red, and then the background is harder color than the front the subject is, and it's distracting. Means your eyes will be attracted towards a darker, harder color rather than the softer, subtle colors. So if your subject is in a subtle color, then the power of the subject goes down, and the subject matter when the subject matter matters, then you have to shoot in black and white, because all the colors will be changed into gray scales and black and white. And so it's if your subject is strong enough, then if you want to show the subject, if you want to tell a story, it's always better to go in black and white, in specifically in India, because we are complicated country. So we are very much complicated with colors, because you will see a red signboard just beside a blue signboard. Then that means you are just covering PPGR, means from ultraviolet to the red to infrared. So you are covering all those in just two panels. You are getting the left side of it and the right side of the PPGR. So it's not fine. It's not funny. It's actually it confuses people. So it's better to be on the safer side, to have more strong subject matter, and the subject should say something more. That's it.
Okay.
Am I? Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yeah, I heard one photographer saying, very senior photographer saying, almost everything looked good on black and white, and he also added saying some things don't look good on color. He said almost everything look good on black and white, but something don't look good on color. So I thought it was a very nice way of putting, his affinity towards black and white in a very nice way. So I hope you got your answer there. DCS Vaisag VS Rao, that's a long name, saying, sir, if I have to go out tomorrow morning and take pictures of the neighborhood, what is that I have to do? Just take a camera, go there, make sure that you have enough battery and a memory card, and you just start shooting.
Nowadays, first of all, get a mask. First, get a mask.
Don't step out without a mask.
Then go out to the camera, keep a safe distance from people, and shoot whatever you like. And when you come back, see it by yourself and check whether your pictures are only craftsmanship or this is an art. Is it saying something or is it not? And what is art? When it engages people, when craft engages people, it becomes an art. So there's a difference between craft and art. So go out and see whether you're shooting craft, whether you're just a crafty person or you are just doing an art.
So when craft engages people, it becomes art. Very nice.
That's
I learned something today. Wonderful. So when you go out, shoot on the street, it is not always, you're not always welcome at everywhere, right? So this Jairaj Shiva is asking, what if you get caught? How do you push through your fear of street photography? Because I'm assuming that he's worried about somebody stopping him or somebody pushing him away, or he's getting into a small tiff with people because you're going to stick a camera on people's faces. So how do you get over that fear and start shooting comfortably on the street?
First of all, whenever you go somewhere, don't just go and start shooting immediately. Just wait there for some time. Wait until you are felt a part of the scene and see the neighborhood, whether they're friendly with you or not. Then bring out your camera and It's not that just, it's not Vini Vidi Vici. Just you come and you win and you go back. It's not like that. You have to wait there. If needed, you have to come twice. Means on the second day, you have to come back again. Then you shoot. When people around you will know you as a person, first of all, when you go there, always wear very subtle clothes, means no hot colors, no heavy colors on you, because that will attract people,
Mm.
and that will bring you into trouble. Don't have, for street photographers, I don't like them to have big hairs and those balis in ears, and
You need to blend in with the crowd, right?
yeah, you have to blend in the crowd, and don't be too fashionable over there. Don't use long lenses, small cameras. Do good in street photography. Nowadays, lots of good cameras of those mirrorless cameras came out, were small, and nobody will notice you even while you are
Yeah.
shooting.
Well,
And
that reminds me about a story about a great photographer. In fact, the great Andre Cartier-Bresson himself. I mean, I've heard about him. In those days, black bodies were not available. They could get only chrome bodies. So he would buy a chrome body and tape it with black tape so that the chrome doesn't shine, and it merges with this long trench coat. Black trench coat that he would wear. When he moves around. So he wanted to be as obscure, or rather unseen, as possible.
yeah, that's important, that you need to get unseen as much as you can. Don't talk to people. Don't talk to unknown people. Lots of people will talk from side, but you don't need to answer them. You just go on. You carry on. If there is some hush going on, just move away from that place. Stay away 20 feet away from that place. That's it. Nothing happened.
So Asmita Sengupta is asking, would love to learn more about story composing and telling the images. So Asmita, I'd like to tell you that Arindam Mukherjee, Dada has, he has some sessions, classes in Pixel Village. I'd like to show you a glimpse of what he does at Pixel Village. So stay there.
Photography is experiencing life. Create magic through photography is totally up to you. How to use different techniques and create a magic in your picture. This is very important to engage people. Now see here, ingoing lines, texture, color symmetry, frame within frame, and the figure study. A complete picture होने का यही मतलब होता है. Don't copy older photographers or older photographs you have seen. The thought process in yourself, you can use it in documentary photography. So you have to create your own style.
So that's what Dada does in Pixel Village. I like to give you a glimpse of Pixel Village website also while we are at it. This is Pixel Village website, and here we have lots of different genre of photography available. You have a beginner fundamentals, wedding photography, fashion photography, architecture and interior, Ford, landscape, documentary, and studio lighting. And we have all these classes available for you. For some reason, the internet is acting up a little funny today, so please bear with me. We have these wonderful mentors in Pixel Village who will actually teach you, handhold you through the process of learning. And let me see if I can show you the classes closest. The site couldn't be reached, so obviously there is a delay. So let me. There is an internet delay today. I'm sorry about that, but there are lots of classes and there are lots of pre-recorded sessions currently available. and you can log in, go through the small trailers that are there. If you like them, there are lots of free classes available. There are lots of classes which are live. For example, this is also live streaming on our website now. And also we have these premium classes, which are, pre-recorded classes, 1.5 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour kind of long classes. And we also have an app, Pixel Village app, and I'll share the link to the app now. Okay, and so shall we move on? Are we going to...
Now, I'm going to show you some colorful photography now.
Okay, yeah. There are more questions. Just hold on. Stay. Do you want to take a few more questions before we?
No. I'll take some questions, mostly regarding black and white photography. If somebody has any questions, I will answer them, and then we'll go to the color section.
Okay. So this question was on color. Does rain impact black and white photo?
Yes. Rain impact in the sense rain can be used as layers in photography. Means you can see the picture of the dog and the man running. The streaks of rain are used as the layer. So
okay,
use it in that way. Evidence are always helpful. Rainy season is good time for street photography.
Street photography. Okay, so there are some technical questions. What kind of lens do you recommend for street photography?
Generally, I would recommend a 24-70 2.8 lens. I use 24 2.8 premium, 30 prime, 35 f2 prime, 50 1.8 prime, and 180 200 2.8 DD.
Okay, so you mentioned about your lenses. Which is the camera that you use?
Nikon D800, an old camera.
Wow. So, that's what he said. He doesn't even remember which. He's such a story man, such a concepts man, such a strong visuals person. He even forgot the term ISO, ASA in the beginning. So I can tell you, I can relate to it because my boss Rafiq Elias used to narrate to me. As a photographer who was learning, as a person who was learning photography, Rafiq used to not to miss an opportunity to interact with photographers and cinematographers. So in one occasion, while he was in Italy, some foreign country, and there was this Italian cinematographer who was doing some work. He couldn't, resist the excitement and enthusiasm. He went up to him and asked what film he is using and what lens he is using. So he said, wait a minute. So he yelled out to his assistant. He said, call her. So please ask my assistant. He said he didn't know what film and lens he was. He was interested in creating a visual in front. So he said, okay, I want to shoot in shallow depth of field. I want to use this lens. Well, everything is set up by those guys who are around him. It's an extreme case, I understand. But when artists get into this creative mode, they tend to really stop worrying about the latest technology and the camera and those, they stop peeping into the pixels and things like that. And the other is one of them. So because I know him very close quarters, and he still uses a camera which is D800, the first in their 800 series. Yeah, okay. So you got that answer. And what? Okay, so this question is about a little bit about ethics. How about posing for documentary photography? Do you agree that is it?
Yeah. I agree with that. If you are doing a portrait series or something, where you need to have posed images, you can do that. But when you are posing an image, you should write it also that it's a posed image. Like for portraits, you can pose images, but you cannot ask somebody to enact something and shoot that image. You cannot arrange a candid moment and shoot that. That's not allowed in documentary photography. What is allowed? You can shoot portraits. You can ask them to wear certain clothes, certain attires, and sit in a certain background in front of a certain background and shoot them. That's possible. That's easy. That's allowed by World Press Photo.
Oh, it is allowed. So you can pose, but
You
then
can
you need to
pose, but
say,
it should be written. It should be properly written. This so and so pose for this image.
oh, okay. So William, hi William, how are you? William is another mentor in Pixel Village, and he has a question. How have you adjusted to black and white photography in our digital days?
I just convert it in Photoshop. I don't shoot in black and white because I shoot raw. Raw is always color.
Yeah, so
So
that's precisely what his question was. In the olden days, you would get a black and white film, and you're going to shoot black and white, and but now you're going to see everything in color. You're going to,
no,
I
I
mean, you
don't
can't
see
even resist.
when I'm shooting black and white. I don't shoot it in color. I shoot in black and white because
Wonderful. That's a big learning.
I was a printer myself. I used to print black and white pictures. So when I'm out to shoot black and white images, I see it in black and white specifically.
Oh,
I know
wonderful.
which gray and which white, which black will come where.
Okay. Do you by any chance even switch to the monochrome mode? Oh no, some of the
No,
cameras
no.
don't have that option.
No. Because I shoot in raw, I always shoot in color. But when I'm see through my viewfinder, I know what I'm shooting.
Certain cameras these days, for example, the Fuji cameras allow you to even see it in a simulated color mode, black and white mode when you shoot. So of course it will shoot a raw. Along with that, you can actually see it in acros, which is a color a black and white film simulation mode. You can see it and shoot it. So you can actually take
Look,
a look at it.
Radhaji, I would like to say I am not a technical guy. I just know to operate the camera in the older form. Only out of
This is
only I can focus it. I know what is white balance. I know how to ISO and those kind of stuff. I know that. That's it. I know what is delighting. I don't know what is this. What you're talking about, I don't know. I don't want to know also because it's
see.
ahead.
Absolutely. So now I would like to listen to those words to all those people who run behind technology and run behind the latest equipments and gadgets and stuff, and peep into the pixels. I keep talking about it, splitting hair and all that. End of the day, it's about a great image. And well, weren't you stunned by the quality of the image that he showcased? And weren't you also stunned that he doesn't really know much, or he doesn't really care much about what goes on inside the camera and what kind of a sensor the camera is using, or how many elements the lens has? And
Yeah, I don't want to know it.
Exactly.
I don't want to know it because I'm not going to build a camera. I'm not that's not necessary.
Yeah,
I would rather focus on my art. I would rather be a learned person in the art form of it.
Fantastic. All right. So Nilamul Rifat, he's from Bangladesh. He was here the other day. He also has another question. Of course, you're going to get scolded by Dada now if I read out that question to him, because he's asking whether. Yeah, he's saying ask whether it is a crop sensor or a plus 35 ideal portrait setup.
What?
We will come back tomorrow. We have a session on fundamentals, foundations of photography.
Rather, if he asks me what I'll say, I'll use a 35mm camera, and with a 35mm lens, I'll move closer to the subject and shoot with aperture priority. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah. So
I would rather concentrate on the context of it, context of the image,
rather than worrying about the technical details and stuff.
Technically, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. And well, you want to quickly talk about some fundamentals of black and white photography? I know it was too short a time to talk about fundamentals, but generally some few tips that they need to take care while shooting black and white. If you want.
Look, first of all, white should be perfect white, black should be perfect black, and grayscales will play in between.
Wonderful. That's it. So if you have your whites right, whites not blown out, and blacks not completely saturated and gone and filled and no details, well, then you don't have a good black and white. So you need to worry about that, getting all those details in. So these days, the cameras have fantastic elbow room. It's called the dynamic range. So you need to know the limitation of the camera. To that extent, you should have the technical understanding and make sure that you're, unless it is needed that way, don't blow your whites and don't, underexpose your darks too much. Well, to great extent, you can also, while processing, you can get them, but make sure that you are exposing right to get the mood that you want. But when you print it is when it matters. You need to actually see, they call it a movement in the black, which means you need to see details in the black too, also details in the highlight too, to create a image that's qualified as a good image, right? Technically good image. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Sure. So before we move ahead, we are well into the 1 hour mark. Dada has lots of stuff to share, but we have something quickly to accomplish, which is giving away the prize for last month's subscribers, rather people who have enrolled in our classes. We have 5 gifts to be given away. Of which we've already gave away 3 prizes, and today we'll be giving away the 4th one, and these are made possible by this wonderful people of Digitech and wonderful people from Srishti Digi Life. So thank you Digitech and thank you Srishti for supporting Pixel Village and also supporting our students. And what we're going to give away is this wonderful product called the Flash Bot. Okay, it's worth about 4,125 Indian rupees. This is a very clever light shaping tool which goes in front of your camera mounted flash, which you can also use it as off camera flash. And we have our Pixel Village team standing by, and it's going to be a digital wheel of fortune, which is going to, which we're going to spin, and we're going to call the winner. We're going to pick the winner. Okay, let's spin the wheel, PV. Maybe you guys can clap. All right. Mohammed Aris and Kishore. He looks like it's Kishore. Yes. Wonderful. Congratulations, Kishore. Kishore bought a class in the month of May in Pixel Village, and now he won this amazing light board. Kishore, we will get in touch with you. We will take all your contact details, and we will make sure that this product reaches your home soon. Okay, thank you very much, Pixel Village team, for making that possible. And in fact, it is our tech team, support team, Arun Shashi, who's made that possible for us. Thank you, Arun. And maybe, I know you are busy, maybe you can leave now. So thank you. Let's get back to your presentation, sir. Thank you, Arun. Yeah. All right. Okay, you are on the screen. Oh, wonderful. You're on the screen. Okay, you can start your presentation, sir.
Yeah. This is a picture from Kumbh Mela, 2013. And Here, the magic of the Naga Sadhu, which is happening here, with a big sword, and lots of people, pilgrims are in the background. So, the characteristics, you have to find those characters and in this kind of crowded places. So it's important to find such people who will give you that nice shot. This is a I was talking about the posed images, and here is a portrait
This is
series
this
of Katputli
this is
Colony in
my
New
favorite.
Delhi, and
This is one of my favorite.
this is a post image, and I use this background because it's all chosen. His dress is chosen. This background is chosen. I wanted to uh, use this context of those pictures of him in different places, and utensils in the left hand corner, and bags on the right hand corner. So this gives you a context of the whole area and the color with the Rajasthani color they live in Katputli. This is a very small slum in New Delhi, in West Delhi, Shadipur Depot. And now it's gone. It's over. They have been shifted to different places. Now they are not together. This is in Bhutan. This is the only meal they have in the whole day, and it's in the evening. They are having a rice and soup kind of thing, and it's basically nothing. Means there is nothing in it, just rice and white soup, and that's their whole meal for the day. And they will have food for only once a day, and that's in the evening, and that's they are having that. It's during that evening time. I've shot this picture with a bounce flash, yes, in 2008, I suppose. This is Kashmir during ceasefire in 2003 when lots of problems were going on, where lots of fightings were going on in Kashmir. It's the village of it's a village in Uri where this uh, Shepherd boy is standing holding the fence. It's actually not the border. It's border is far off from here, but it gives you a feel of border. It gives you a feel of border in a restrained zone in Kashmir, and so I shot this image, and it's been used by National Geographic Society in the magazine. This is Pushkar Fair, Rajasthan, where all the ladies are looking in a different direction, while my subject is looking towards me and with a very eye. And that may it's a I generally don't use a longer lens, but here I use a telephoto lens to shoot this image. This is I was doing a story on the transgender, so this is Dia, and I was shooting her in her house, and this is where she's wearing her sari. So during that time, I shot this image. This is a work on the sex workers I've done in 2003, where this sex worker she's from Madhya Pradesh, and she was brought here. She was brought here to just hold on. She was brought here with somebody and sold her to the pimp, and she's staying here now. She has to do her sex work, and she's dressing for going out in the evening. And as it says in photography that if your picture is not good enough, that means you are not close enough. Here's a amazing example for that kind of words said by Robert Capa. This is an image from Tsunami. I found her in Nagapattinam, where she was just bringing out things from the scrabble of her house, and she made it sure that she found her father's portrait, who died years back, and it's a very possessed thing for her. So he took it in her head and taking it into her bag so that she can keep it with herself for the rest of her life. And while the bulldozer is working in the background to remove the scrabbles and stuff. Here is a victim of she's a rape victim, and So, as we are not allowed to shot rape victims directly, so I've used this well, and with a light coming from the window, I shot this image. This is the COVID-19 image where I was shooting at Sonagachi. Hopefully, you have heard of Sonagachi, the Asia's biggest red light area, where because they are out of any customers, so they were just strolling around in this area. This is the main lane of Sonagachi, and I was shooting there. That's it. Now we'll go back. Radhaji, we'll take some questions and then we'll come back to the published works. Radhaji?
All right. Yeah, I'm here. I'm back.
Yeah. So
You need to switch to the
yeah,
streaming.
if there are any question, if there are any questions, I'll take them in color and then I'll go back to the pictures again.
Okay. So, any more questions? Let me pull out some more questions. How to shoot. We have an interesting comment by Beg Sufyan. He says, in other words, Radha Sahib, concentrating on the picture being painted and not worrying about the brush being used. I mean, he's talking about your philosophy. Don't worry too much about which camera you're using. Worry about the image that you're creating. Yeah. And questions. Well, picture itself are giving stories. Okay, so this is a question from Subhadeep Bose. He's asking, if someone choose to shoot street in color, then how can one isolate the subject from the environment? Because, as you said, colors can be distracting if they don't create a harmony in the picture.
Who says that harmony is needed in the picture? It can be always rustic and it can be always without means it can be in the day all the way around means
Even chaos can create interest, right?
yeah, chaos, chaos. A visual chaos can create interest, and you can see work of Raghuveer Singh. I should mention here that he's one of the pioneers of color photography in India, and he's probably better than rest of us as till date. And he uses popped up flashes and flashes on cameras and uses reflectors and use those colors in a different way altogether. And you have to use your eye and bring out a image. Basically, if you go closer to a subject with a wide angle lens, the subject becomes closer and the background goes to the back. So anyhow, it's been separated. And you can also separate it by longer lenses, but I don't prefer using longer lenses. I use generally, you have seen that I have always used 35 millimeter or 24 millimeter. I always go closer to the
Here is someone saying Nikon should gift you a camera and make you their brand ambassador. I agree. I always felt that's the case. But Homiar,
probably they don't. Probably they don't like me. And I am not a marketing. I'm a photographer. I'm a photographer.
No,
I don't do marketing.
I would like to rephrase that. Homiar, the reason these days is that photography companies usually want photographers to be socially very active. And as you know, he is socially active in a different way. He would like to take socially relevant images, not himself to be seen in social platforms very often. So, well, I mean, if anybody from any brand is watching this video, I would seriously urge them to kind of don't miss Dada. He is an amazing guy. I mean, his life is, I know him personally, so his life is about creating images and everything else is secondary for him. Well, okay, pictures. Okay, Arindam Dada, talking about your style of work, there is something very stunning in your simplicity.
Hi, William. How are you?
Well,
Yeah.
Dada needs two things. Dada needs his quota of cigarette and coffee. He cannot compromise there. He is fine with everything else, but his quota of cigarettes and coffee, he must have it.
And
Right.
it's a, you know, um, I always liked the English school of photography. School of photography teaches you how to keep your subject in the center. I'm always a revoltee. I never wanted to shoot images on the one third zone and those kind of stuff. And emotion, it took me some time to get into the emotion of the image, and which is, I think, the most important part in my photography. And the emotion flows in as throughout the world they have always asked me that why your images are like this. So how can you make those images so emotive? It's all about the relationship with my subject, how I respect them. And if you respect your subject, the subject will respect you back. And that's what I can capture in my photography. And go slow and go respect your subject, take everybody on the same pedestal, and things will be good, I think. And to me, rather, everybody is same. Means I don't keep somebody because of his financial condition or a rickshaw puller due to his financial in a different position. But I take everybody same, similar. Everybody is similar to me.
Wonderful. Can you please show us some published works?
That's sure. I only pulled out some 10 images and
That's
20.
fine. That's perfectly fine.
Oh no, sorry. Just
Okay,
hold on.
while Dada
Just
is now
hold
pulling,
on.
he's going to share some interesting published
Yeah,
works now,
yeah,
so you can watch them. Okay, you're on the screen. You can talk
yeah.
about them now.
The left one is from the which 16 image photo essay published in the National magazine, and it was the cover story, and that's why this image is in the cover, and they have four or five spreads over there, and they use 16 images, 16 no, 10 images over there, and some other magazine use 16 images. So that's how I generally make stories when people can use a certain number of images so that I can get better earning from that. That's very important. When you tell a story, you give a write up, and then at least some few images, at least 7 to 10 images are sold. Then you get a good amount of money. And the second one is Beyond the Burqa. It's a sociological stories on the Muslim boxers of Iqbalpur, which uh, which actually helped the area quite a lot by raising those Muslim young children to come with boxing and earn some money. And these are the two one of the two young kids who started this, and they're actually revoltees in those areas, and they're and so I use the storyline. They have used Beyond the Burqa, but my story was about empowerment beyond Burqa. And Burqa is certain thing which is in stories throughout the world since a couple of years, since 20 years now. Next image is the pink Gulabi gang. You know Gulabi gang, Sampath Pal Devi. I was one of the first people to go there and shoot Sampath Pal Devi. From that, the pink gang, Gulabi gang movie was made on this lady. And this is a intelligence living double spread in Italy. And previous one was one from America, one from USA, and another from Nationalist from UAE. It was one of the major magazines in those days. And this is the Voxkrant, the newspaper. It's the front page, and uh, it's a 5-column image picture of Kolkata been used here. This is the story on uh, the uh, burning mines of Jharia, and they have started with a detailing image here and not an overview. So, which one will be your starting image? It can be differ from editor to editor. One will start a story with a detailing image, and another can start a story with an overview image. So that's it. So this is a detailed image of. It's geographical. The Royal Geographic Society magazine, and I was a contributor with them. This is my interview in Rangefinder magazine. Rangefinder magazine in USA, and this is one of my shots in during one of my shoot in Bindapur district, and they've used it as cover, and it's, uh, it's a BJP magazine. It's a BJP magazine, yeah. As it is one of the most important photography magazine in America, and I'm the one of the first person to be interviewed by them. It's a 8-page interview. They've- This is Amnesty International, and it's after those rape cases in Uttar Pradesh. They have used this image both in France and England. They have bought it separately from me, one through my agency, one directly from me, and it's been used worldwide. And they made posters out of it, and lots of things have been done. And this is my one page of my interview in Beta Photography magazine, one of the major magazine in India, and it's in 2008. It's a four page spread. This is about the drug addict boys of Shalda Station, and it's been published in the New Statesman of London, and they've used 10 of my images here, and this is the opening spread. This is the left-hand side is a picture of a photo essay from Kerala, and it's a Thayam been shown here, and they have used 5 images all the time. They have used my images, 5 images for the photo essay. And next one is the South Asian or the Sea Asian from Sweden, and this is the cover story again on the sex workers and AIDS in India. So this is the cover page. This is in Gente. Gente in Italian means People magazine, and here we have worked on the miracle of Mother Teresa, for which she got the sainthood, and it's again a 4 pages spread, and that's me. That's it. Over.
Wonderful. So, if you want to see more of Dada's work, you can visit arindam-mukherjee.com. So I've also copied that in the comments column, so you can copy that from there and paste it onto your browser, and you will be able to go and visit and watch all his work. That was wonderful. Thank you very much for that simple, straightforward, in fact, straight from the heart talk and presentation. I hope everyone who watched this session,
Hopefully, people liked it.
Well, so I mean, whoever is here, I would like, whoever who's now here would like to give us a feedback as to how they liked the presentation, the images in particular, and Dada will appreciate that. I mean, of course, me included in it. I will definitely appreciate your feedback. Okay, we have our Abhijit Joshi saying, proud of your photojournalism. That's the best way to express your art for society. And Sufia Beg, I think he's from London, UK. And thank you both for this opportunity. Loved it. Teza Muguluri is saying it is good. Rafi Afi is saying we loved it. And Swarnadeep, give me a second. It's keep moving. Okay. Swarnadeep Chakrabarti is saying thank you. We are feeling better after seeing you. Wonderful. Okay. Okay, and one second. Mukesh Damodar in photography says, EXIF or technicals are not important, just love photography. Then you have amazing country Anand Kanchandani saying absolutely amazing. The Tala Iswar is saying it is wonderful. Dada, you need to work on your Insta page more, whether you like it or not. Get somebody. William is saying, I am the 740th follower in Instagram. Wonderful. People, show some love. We have whoever is here, please go like Dada's page. Please give me that. What is your
Photo Arindam.
PHOTOARINDAM. Okay, so I'm going to give that Insta handle. Okay, I have it in the comments. Please use that, and please show some love. And then you have lots of people. People are extremely happy. Prince Pingu, Changadi, Venkata Subramaniam. They're all saying, Dada, great work, great work, great work. Wonderful. So Arun Raj saying great inspiration for street photography. Arun Raj, thank you for staying for the entire duration. I saw you coming in right at the beginning of the session and you're still here. Thank you very much. Shantanu Joshi saying, Dada, fantastic as usual, which means, Shantanu, I know him. I know Shantanu, of course. Niamul Rifat is saying, he's from Bangladesh. He's saying, he's showing us. Oh, no, that's not allowed. That's not allowed. You should. And then I have to flash one comment.
Yeah, you have to do that.
No, I don't think it is probably appropriate. I think you should, for the time being, you should keep that away. Thank you. Siddhartha Sadhukan saying, a lovely presentation. Stories cannot be told because YouTube will have a problem because they will then, showing it to children below 18, there is some restriction. Okay. So, that's a technical issue there. I told you guys that he cannot say no to a cigarette and coffee. I'm sure he's sipping coffee along with it. Okay, lots of people. Okay, thank you very much for that fantastic response.
Thank you, Dadaji.
Hey, Dada, fantastic. I hope you are convinced now that you need to be out there in the open, being seen more than what
Thanks for bringing me out. Thanks for bringing me out.
It is a requirement. I mean, there's so much of talent, and you speak sense. You are one of the most straightforward, no-nonsense person I have met. Okay, you are, you're cut and dry. That's it. Finish. So it's very important for a teacher to be in that way. And it's very rare to find people like that these days. So please stay that way. Please keep encouraging all of us. Keep inspiring all of us through your work. And you have tons of followers on your way now already. And if you wish to learn from Dada, of course, you can get in touch with him. He also coaches people one-on-one. He does photo tours. He's the best person to go to if you want to do a photo walk in Kolkata, Sundarbans, Varanasi. He's the man. He will. I mean, after the COVID situation, he will definitely announce his photo walks and photo tours. And you can also subscribe to him in Pixel Village and learn from him. Okay. So thank you very much once again. I would like to end the session by saying that this is the toughest time in the COVID lockdown period. You've been you've been very disciplined all this while. Don't be adventurous. The next 2-3 weeks are very critical, the most dangerous weeks. Don't venture out unless it is absolutely necessary. Stay home, stay safe, take care of your family, take care of your senior people at home, take care of yourself by enriching your soul, your physique, your mind, everything. Well, of course, in the evening, tune into Pixel Village too. Thank you again. Thank you, Arindam Dada.
Thank you.
And thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye for now.
Yeah.